I've got some new lightsaber toys that really caught me off guard and surprised me. I normally wouldn't be into this kind of thing anymore, but I had to have these. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dano channel. I am Dano, and I've got new lightsabers, part of the Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures line. Now these toys are hitting targets around the country. They're starting to show up everywhere because a lot of the toys from Young Jedi Adventures are showing up there as well. You've got some cool little action figures. Now, if you're not familiar with Young Jedi Adventures, it's a show for kids. It's a show for young kids. They're younglings set in the High Republic era. You've got characters like Lys Soleil. We've got Kai Brightstar. We've got everyone's favorite, of course, Nubs. Look, I mean, just look at this. Look at this little guy. Look, how can you not love that face? But it is a kids show, and it's actually a pretty good kids show. I think it's pretty good. I've got it on the background, and I found these lightsabers. After looking at all the toys, and I was like, you know what? I don't need any of these toys, but they're kind of cool. And something about these lightsabers. Now they do retail for $9.99 each. They are telescoping lightsabers. They're non-electronic. There's no electronics in here. They're lightweight. They're made for little kids because the show's made for little kids, right? But there are those three designs. We've got Lys Soleil, we've got Nubs, and we have Kai Brightstar. And I picked them up, and I was like, oh, these are different sculpts. I mean, look at this. That is a very unique and different sculpted saber. It's got bright, cool colors because, you know, kids love the purples and the greens. You got a cool logo there. It's like a weird emblem, but it's got a neat texture. And as I was picking them up, that was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, okay, this feels different. And I picked up, I think it was this one. Check this out. This one by Kai Brightstar. It's got this kind of like, it's supposed to look like fabric. It's plastic. The whole thing's a plastic, right? But that's kind of carved in there. Give you a little ASMR. You hear that? It's got a neat texture to it. And so I was like, at first I was like, oh, those are just different. Those are just some like unique and different style lightsaber designs. Again, we have the coin here. You can see the Jedi Republic or whatever that is. You've got all this kind of stuff. Jedi Order, whatevs. But look at Nubs. Even hit with the blue, and these are different colors as well. So there was a lot of things about these that made me think they were unique. The specific color. Look at that specific color, blue. We've never had a lightsaber this color. In fact, it actually kind of matches my shirt. I didn't even plan that. They match my shirt a little bit, which is really funny. Look at that. They're like, I really did not plan that. That is hilarious. And I don't know, I was just feeling them, and I'm like, these are so unique and so different. And he's got a little leaf. He has actual leaves on his lightsaber. I just saw them and picked them up, and I was like, okay, for $10 each, they're short. I mean, look at that. The whole thing actually fits on frame. Normally when I have a lightsaber toy and the camera this close, I can't get the whole thing on frame. So it is on the shorter side, probably about what? I don't know, about 20 inches or so from this part to the tip of the blade. Okay, well, actually, it's about 14 and a half inches. Yeah, maybe I exaggerated a little bit or don't know how to measure. It's fine. Not much at all. And this itself is not very long either. I mean, I can get two hands on it. But I had to pick them up because they're unique sculpts. They're very different. It's the first time we've really seen a kiddie version, and the first time versions of these lightsabers have been made at all. So I was like, you know what? These got to be in the collection. And in the spirit of like toddler kids shows and making them like interesting toys, the fact that they sculpted in those textures really, really caught my eye. I was like, oh, that's like a sensory thing. That's got to be a sensory thing. Because, I mean, like, sure, kids can, like, kind of dink these around a little bit. I'll say as far as the review, it's a little crooked, like, just so you know. This thing doesn't sit in perfectly, and they're all just a little crooked, especially on the top one. So when that comes out, this top one will always be just a smidge crooked, depending on how you rotate it. But, back to what I was saying, the feel on these really gives me, like, you want your toddlers to, like, play with toys that have cool sensory functions, so they, like, can feel and talk about the bright colors. And it's, I don't know, like the second I picked them up, I started basically going over all these details in my head and noticing like, yeah, you can scratch. It has a cool feel, even with this. Like against your fingers and nails, there's a really neat kind of thing. And I was like, oh, these are really cool. These are neat toys. The tag on them is kind of, it's like minimal packaging, literally just like a little twist tie and a paper. But for $10, I really like them, and I wanted to let you know that they're available now. Like, that's it. That's literally it. I just thought they were cool, and I'm adding them to my lightsaber collection, which, if you didn't know, I've got a pretty big lightsaber collection. In fact, I did a whole video about it. Check the card up there, or the pin at the end of the video. There's going to be a little pin thing up there telling you about it. But I want to know what you guys think about these kind of lightsabers. Yes, they are for kids. They are absolutely for the little kiddos. That is who they're for. But even me, an adult, had to look at this and say, yeah, I need that. I need all three of them.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to show you guys on this is the paint applications. So the plastic on this is actually gray, right? You can tell that this has been painted on in green and then also brown. You can see when you look up close just how the paint is done. It's not like, it's not perfect, but it's also not sloppy or anything. It's decently done. You'll notice the gold is like kind of a shiny paint on the button there, and that seems to be lined up well. Again, the lines are pretty good on it. And then what I noticed on this one and the next one is the plastic, this silver doesn't seem to be painted. At least I don't think it is. It seems, see, there's a little bit of glue in here maybe. I'm not sure what that is on the inside. But overall, like, it seems like this is two different kinds of plastic here. Let me see if we can kind of zoom in and see a little. That looks to be glue. So it's possible that they've got, that maybe this whole thing was made in this gold color and this is silver paint. It might be silver paint in this case, just when we look at it up close. But it's decently done, and it does look like it's reflecting a little bit of silver in those grooves, or sorry, a little bit of gold in those grooves there. So it might be where the paint didn't hit. But it does look like, I don't know, it looks very good. I like the look of it. Now that I'm seeing them next to each other, those are different. This is a gray plastic, while that's a gray paint, because it's got more of a silver shimmery look to it. So that's definitely a silver paint. So this one was molded in gold and then painted silver second. And then also they added details like the green, that texture I was talking about, the green and the purple, and I like that. I like how that works. And we've got our emblem on here too. And then last, to look at this one is definitely molded in silver and then painted gold. You can tell because it's a little shiny and you can see some of those lines there. But yeah, overall, I mean, these things, they're decently made. There's a little marking on there. That's fine though. I'm okay with that. A little bit of bleed there on the paint, but again, the sculpt is cool. It's like kitty, but it's not. I mean, look at the details on this sculpt. Like I showed earlier, like, you can really hear all that. And this just, it's got a good sculpt on all of these. Like I showed the leaves. The leaves are decently done. I like them. They even have a little bit of a gradient where it's darker towards the center and lighter towards the outside. It's not just like a simple paint job. They have a good, like, little airbrush technique to there. And to be honest, I appreciate that.
And so they're neat little lightsabers. In fact, I'm pretty stoked on this show. Yeah, it's a kid's show, but it's Star Wars, and I still enjoy it. So, yeah, I want to know your thoughts, guys. Are you going to pick up any of these Young Jedi Adventure lightsabers? I had to. I saw them. I picked them up, touched them, was like, these are cool colors. We've never had a lightsaber this color purple before. We've never had a lightsaber this light blue before. This green is a maybe. There might be toys that have this exact same green. But unique colors, unique textures, unique sculpts. These get a rad from me, especially at the price point, $10. I couldn't not add them to the collection. I had to. I'm a sucker for lightsabers. You know I love them. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, don't be a move milker. Be the spark. But go check out that video I did about my lightsaber collection, because it's crazy.